listening to the award-winning WHCM 88.3 FM, Palatine, Illinois, a broadcast station of Harper College and its Board of Trustees. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, I'm doing the wrong ear.
It's always important to have your the cans over your right ear. I just know that these are called cans.
Okay.
That's all I know. But.
I didn't know that. You are listening to Streaming Verse with Chris and Nina here on Harper Radio. Quick reminder, the thoughts and ideas presented on this show are our own and not necessarily reflective of the opinions of WHCM, Harper College, or its Board of Trustees.
Very important for today's show. We have a lot of opinions, and you're thinking out there, you guys always have opinions. Yeah. We got more.
I have so many.
Yes.
Always, but especially today. All right. Now that we've got the opinion thing down, what have you been watching this week, Chris?
Well, the past couple weeks, because we had a week off.
Right.
I actually re-watched a series called The Stranger. I think it was out in 2021. It was a limited series, so I knew I was in for a short ride. And it's interesting. It's on Netflix, called The Stranger, and it is good. It's very good. It's based on a book by an author. And that's as detailed as I'm getting on that one. But it was interesting because it made me realize during the pandemic, I know I did. I don't know about everybody else out there. Mm-hmm. I watched a lot of stuff, probably didn't really pay a lot of close attention. Because I always remember thinking, what was the ending of The Stranger? What was that? What happened? And now I watch them like, it's clear as day. Mm-hmm. But I think, we're overwhelmed, with the world and all that stuff. Because I think we're, 2021, we were still having like a second wave come through and everything.
Yeah.
What have you been watching?
For like the 10 years that I haven't been here, it's not enough. I did watch, I don't know where this came from either. It was just kind of on my radar, and I was like, that's a fun title. I'll watch it. It's called Fanfic on Netflix. Okay. I saw the title, and I was like, oh, yeah, totally up my alley, right? It's fan fiction. It is, I can't remember what country it's from, but I know it's not in English because it started in English, like it automatically defaulted to English.
Yes, yeah.
And it just was so wrong. So then I just like flipped it back to like its original language and read the subtitles because I was like, this is ridiculous. Like it looks so wrong.
Yeah, it's shocking they haven't done better with that.
Yeah.
Considering I can't watch it.
Yeah, no, it's
like
so
that.
bad.
I'd rather have to sit and read it.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, I watched and read that. It was so strange. I really couldn't tell by the end of it if I liked it or if I thought it was problematic, which is like a very fine line, but it makes sense because it's called fanfic. So yeah. I guess it was inspired by fan fictions written by a bunch of different people. Like that's what it said at the beginning. And so I was like, oh, this is going to be a train wreck. I love it. I don't know. I'm kind of like, I don't know how I feel about it. I need someone else to watch it to be like, be like, oh yeah, that was really good, or like that was trash.
That was a train wreck.
Yeah, because I don't have any opinion on it. So that was an interesting afternoon.
yeah, I can imagine.
What else have you been watching?
So I'll watch Plane. I've been waiting for this to come out, and it was on Stars. I believe it was on Stars. I think Plane was on Stars. It's with Idris Elba. No, that's not the Idris Elba one. It's with Gerard Butler. Sorry. I've also been watching Hijack, also about planes with Idris Elba. So I've been watching all the plane things. Hijack is on Apple TV, and it's really good. I have been enjoying it. Although it's a downer from my Ted Lasso digital hug.
Sounds like it's a bit of a downer there.
and Plane also has and this isn't giving anything away because it's in all the promos, but Plane, they crash somewhere. They have to have an emergency landing in the middle of the jungle.
Ford flying plane?
I am so impressed with you right now. Yes. That was awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I would say watch both Plane and Hijack are good, and getting some like things that I want to know if they're insights into the airline life.
Yeah. I'm going to talk to my father when he returns. I never call him father. That was so weird. I hated that.
And I just thought of this when we were talking. So what else have you been streaming? Doesn't that sound good? Come on. We always say watching, but we're streaming first. So what have you been streaming?
That's good. Speaking of fan fictions, I was talking to my friend Susanna about fan fictions because it's all we talk about. And she started talking about this one Disney Channel movie. And she's like, oh, yeah. And even my friend Jesus, who doesn't watch anything, he's literally watched like 3 movies in his entire life. Like, it's ridiculous. He was like, oh, yeah, I love that movie. And I was like, how come I never saw it? Because it's a Disney Channel. Like, I watched all of those growing up. So it's called Starstruck. It's on Disney Plus. And it's literally every fan fiction brought to life. It's like the sister is super obsessed with the celebrity. The like younger sister's like, oh my God, he's so stupid. And then she goes to his concert and he's trying to, I'm explaining this terribly, he's trying to like get out like incognito, and she literally slams the door in her face, and then they like fall in love, and like, oh, it's it's so fan fiction. And it's definitely during like the early Justin Bieber, because everyone has the same haircut, and it's the haircut Justin Bieber had when he first started. So we watched that the other night, and that was really, really fun and cringy, and I loved it. So yeah, if you haven't seen Starstruck, you gotta go watch it.
Yeah, I was listening to something, a podcast, and we'll dive into this on our podcast episode. Yeah, but it's a podcast about gossip. Okay. And within it was someone listening to another podcast that people write fan fiction about. So apparently, now people are so into fan fiction that they write fan fiction about podcasts. And then this is what I've heard. Tell me if it's true. All fan fiction quickly leads to gay sex. Okay. And by the way, someone who is gay said this, so it's not.
No, you're not wrong.
Okay.
I mean, it depends. It depends what you're looking for. A lot of it is just like very sexual for no reason. But when I talk about it, I'm not doing that.
No, but it's just funny that I heard that, because even in the one they were talking about, by doing fan fiction, these guys, it was all about sex. It was all highly sexually explicit and stuff like that. It's like, so maybe everyone wants to write their own pornos, is what I'm getting from this.
I think a lot of, I can't believe I'm talking about this right now. I think a lot of the cases is it's like people who write them online as like your name and this fictional character. Yes. So I think that's where it gets people, but this is so off topic. But I was watching TikTok, so I guess it's streaming. I don't know. Yeah. And they have this like exchange library thing, where you take a book and you leave a book. Someone left a book that's like over 1,000 pages long of someone's printed out My Little Pony fan fictions, and
oh my gosh,
it looks so professional. Like someone book binded this. Someone printed this and then binded it together.
That's awesome, though. That's so awesome.
The dedication, but the title of it was so like sexual, and I was like, oh my God, no! Like, it's so scary.
It would be funny if it ends up getting published or something.
And a lot of the books that I've read, I don't even know that they were fan fictions. And then my friend Susanna, who's telling me to read all these books, were like, oh yeah, that used to be a Star Wars fan fiction. She just changed the names and published it. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, wow, it makes so much sense now. Now I see it.
It is funny, the fan fiction, and just how. And that's the other thing that I was listening to, where basically fan fiction at one point was considered like, what is wrong with you? You're obsessive, let go of these characters. And now fan fiction is all the rage, and everyone's into the fan fiction, loving the fan fiction.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If you're going to kill off my favorite characters, I'm going to need more content of them. So I'm going to read some silly little stories that people made up about them living their happily ever after.
Right.
Sorry.
Yep. I see
That's
that.
on you. Okay, anyways, what have you been watching?
The only other thing I've really been watching is I've been re-watching Ted Lasso.
Yes.
And can I tell you, that show is genius. It's going to slightly tie into our topic today about the writer's strike, but there's things happening in season 1 that they reference in the last season. It all ties back, and little offhanded comments that they're making, and it's like I know they probably, because they planned this to be a 3-season story anyway, like that was the original plan. But I almost swear, like, their outlines were so in depth, because how do you track all this?
Yeah.
Because almost 100% of everything meshes up the right way. Even so, there's one character called Danny, and Danny is football is life. Football is life. That's him. And at the end, we see him in this. And if you haven't seen the end of Ted Lasso, I don't care.
It's too late for you now.
It's too late for you. So at the end, in this one scene, like dream-like scene, Danny's with 2 women. He's obviously part of a throuple. In season 1, when he wakes up dreaming about something, having a nightmare, he's in bed with those same 2 women.
Oh my God.
I'm just like so impressed. Like, I'm even more impressed with Ted Lasso now.
Oh my God. It's one of those shows that you watch and you like hear new things every time. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of like inside things, like, some in England to greet someone going, cheers, is common.
Yeah.
And Ted Lasso responds to Night Court. Cheers TV show, Night Court. Because his uncle was on Cheers. There's a lot of a lot of references to that.
Oh my God, that's amazing. That is so good. I love that.
So, have you been streaming anything else?
I've been watching a lot of Queer Eye, which is not out of the ordinary. I watch it all the time. Why are you shocked?
You've never mentioned it.
Oh, I watch it all the time.
I mean, I've seen it before. I'm not anti the show.
Yeah, no. It's it's because I had watched all of it at a very quick pace, and then I just never got back to it.
Gotcha.
And my mom's been watching it with my dad, and my dad is convinced that he's taking tips from them now. Okay. He's like changed things around the house because of them, and the way he cooks because of like Anthony on the show.
Wow.
I'm like, we need to get you to be like Queer-Eyed, like bring the Fab Five to him.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Because then I would get to meet them.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love Jonathan and Anthony. Oh my God. But so my mom's been watching it too. So we were watching a bunch of episodes the other day because I love it. It makes me cry every time because they're just so nice. I could never, like, I'm sorry. I'm not that nice of a person.
What's the blonde guy from the first series of Queer Eye? Carson, or do you know
like the original?
Yeah.
I've never seen the original.
Oh, so I've seen a couple seasons of the original one.
Okay, yeah.
No. And then when it came on this, it was just not on my radar.
I didn't know that there was an original until like I started watching the new one, and then I was like, oh, there was. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, the original one, I did watch that one more, and the one guy, he's still doing stuff. A couple of them are, but one of them is still doing stuff.
There's a guy on it, his name's Karamo, and he's like the culture guy, so he's like the therapist. He always gets everyone
his
crying.
His hair's up like this, right? Is that one? No, okay.
No, and he actually, I don't know, at the Pride Parade, he was on a float, because he has a TV show that films in Chicago, I guess. Mm-hmm. And so he was on the float, and I was like, Karamo!
Oh, that's awesome.
So cool. It was so cool. All right. With that being said, we're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned here on WHCM for more Streaming Verse. We will be right back.
If you want to be part of the actual coolest group of people, you should join WHCM. Trust me, you won't regret it. No experience is needed, and we will teach you everything that you need to know right here at the station. You have the opportunity to compete in national broadcasting competitions, host a live radio show, or work behind the scenes, or even both, and laugh your head off in the most positive and encouraging environment. Can't wait to join any longer? Email us at whcmhawkradio@gmail.com.
Hey there, morning person. Carson Starr here. Have you heard the news? The Star Spotlight is now on 7 days a week.
Monday,
Tuesday,
Wednesday,
Thursday,
Friday, Saturday,
Sunday.
60 minutes of commercial-free music to get your day started right.
Monday,
Rise and shine. Tuesday,
Wednesday,
Thursday,
Friday, Saturday.
Sunday.
The Star Spotlight every day at 6 and 9 a.m. here on Harper Radio.
And we are back with Streaming Verse here on WHCM, always online at harperradio.com. And you can head over to YouTube Live, look for the Harper Radio channel, and you can view us talking,
Yeah.
which is fun. I was reading some of the comments, which are all by Megan at this point, our producer. So other people, please, there's someone else in here, please comment. Although I'm guessing it's your family and they can't comment because they're watching it on the TV.
No, my family is not at home.
Oh. Well, who's ever there, say hi, please. Anyway, but I'm really excited to say, and I'm going to test you here, Nina.
Oh, God.
Megan has seen Tick, Tick, Boom.
Hey, very nice.
Have you seen it yet?
Yeah.
Oh,
We
okay.
talked about this.
Sorry, I was... Oh, that's right. We watched both. Told you I had a bad week before we got on the air. I was telling you I had a bad. That's right. So now we've all seen Tick, Tick, Boom.
Yes.
And we've all cried, I'm sure. Also, the Chicago 7. That's another good one.
Trial of... my brother's been telling me to watch that for years.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's very
I haven't
good.
watched
Very good.
it.
All right, so before we get into our topic, which is the writer's strike, I want to remind everyone the thoughts and ideas are our own and not necessarily reflective of the opinions of WHCM, Harper College, or its Board of Trustees.
The way you were eyeing the camera when you said that.
I'm ready for the camera.
Like staring into its soul. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay.
The man has got to stop taking the money from the common people.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
I mean, my conclusion of all of this is eat the rich, which is, I almost said homophobic, which that's not the word I'm trying to say. Hypocritical was the word I'm trying to say, because I'm, subscribed to streaming services and I use Amazon even though I don't want to.
Right.
But it's so fast. Yeah, that's literally like eat the rich.
Yes. Yeah. And just like with the whole Me Too movement with Hollywood and some other things that that went out with them first, everything they're going through, we're all going through too, unless you are one of those top executives.
Right.
We're all people that they go, oh, our company needs to save money, so we'll just fire all the worker bees, get rid of them, lay them off. But no, you want me to make less than $1 million a year? No. I need my income.
Yeah.
And these executives, these CEOs in this industry are making $1 million a year. I'm not saying all corporate America ones are, but $1 million a year, where writers typically make about $260,000 a year if they're well employed.
Right.
And they haven't had any substantial increase for years.
Right.
It's
And
ridiculous.
yeah, it is totally ridiculous. I watched this video on YouTube which explained it really well. It was uploaded by Vox, like VOX.
Yes, I was actually reading their article, which
Really?
was very good.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's called How Streaming Caused the TV Writers' Strike. And it's basically talking about how like shows like Law & Order SVU and Grey's Anatomy on air, like 20 episodes a season, their running time was like a full year almost.
Yeah, it's 22. It's like 22 episodes a year, and
Yeah.
they were throughout the
So
year.
so
they would
they're-
just have the summer would be a break. Yeah.
Right. So they're spaced out. They're employed for like, that amount of time. And now with the streaming shows, they're not getting employed for as long as they would otherwise, because again, they're finding the shortcuts and being like, oh no, we don't need you.
Mm-hmm.
And they also talked about how like the writers aren't necessarily like working with the actors anymore, because that's how it should be. And that's how it used to be. Like they, especially as a series, like they should get to know the character better, and once the actor knows the character, they can pitch in and be like, yo, this doesn't seem right, like let's fix
Right.
it, whatever. And I guess like the second they start production, like they're gone, the writers.
Yeah, and like you said, where before, especially once they got renewed, they had to start writing right away. So they were working even before filming started.
Yeah.
And now it's just, okay, you wrote this, bye-bye.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what if it gets renewed? But and a lot of time they're not renewing it for those reasons. They're intentionally cutting. It is so scary what I found out reading about this. Like, I was already pro the writers.
Yeah.
Very much, they are like the unsung hero. Because when you have good writers, it can make a series, fantastic.
Yeah.
And, and we're getting a lot of not good shows out there. I wanted to use a word that was questionable, so I had
thought
to
you were going to
pause.
say it. I really did.
Yeah, there's a lot of shows that are just garbage.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's interesting now the actors are combined, have jumped in along with this to support them.
Well,
What else did you find out?
no, well, I was just
No.
going to say in response to you, I just feel like if the actors weren't, that's ridiculous, because they're basically performing the art that the writers have given them.
Right.
So they're winning awards based on how they're portraying the script that the writer has given them. So they should owe the writers so much, because that's the foundation for everything.
Right.
Even
Even if they help tweak it,
Right.
they didn't come up with the concept. And it's so easy to tweak things.
Yeah.
As we all know with social media these days, if somebody else goes, what do you think about this social media post? They might go, oh, that's fine. But then they can go, but if you had these 3 words, it's great. Yeah, but you couldn't have created the original content. You
Right.
needed the help of the first person.
Right.
And it's the same with actors and writers. They, they work together. It's not necessarily, the actors, they might think, oh, well, I came up with this idea. Yeah, you came up with the concept. Did you come up with the delivery?
Right.
The total verbiage.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's and they're not asking for a lot. So people who think, well, they make more than me, they might make more than you in your profession, but what they're going through is still similar to what we're going through, like everyone else in this world. I'm seeing like a major corporation that is going to lay off like 15,000 people, 15,000 people. And it's because of financial mistakes that the CEO made. And the CEO is gone now and making like $250,000 a day because of his
course.
contract. But yet, they don't want other people to be union, which is a contract. And it's because of things like this. They don't want us striking.
Right.
Everyday people. But I mean, I'm happy that they're striking. I'm glad that they're standing up for themselves. And I think it should give us all hope that, maybe we can do something too, or maybe this will help us as well. You
Right.
know.
Yeah, and one of the more positive things, I mean, it's weird, but it's so, I don't know what the word is. I don't know what the word is, but seeing the writers, the signs that they've made, some of them are so funny. And I screenshotted one.
Ooh, let's hear.
And I wish I would have taken pictures of more of them, but this one just killed me. It says, "Pay us or I will climb the Warner Brothers Tower and release the Animaniacs. I swear to God."
No, that's a show because I think it came back like might have been a while ago. Like I watch it. I love the Animaniacs.
So do my
really
parents.
Love the Animaniacs.
They have a picture in our house, and so I saw the sign and I was like, that's amazing. And so all of the signs are so like well written and comical a lot because they're like writers.
Right.
Of course they're gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many like that, and I love it.
Yeah, and this isn't even everyone who's striking right now. This is certain, and it's probably because when it comes to contracts, and I know this with another major corporation, so just thought I'd share the insight into how the unions work. Sometimes you all might work for the same company, but you're under different contracts that expire at different times. So you can't necessarily strike in the middle of your contract.
Right.
So WGA is striking right now, but not like other parts of it. And it's more than likely it's because their contract hasn't expired yet.
That makes sense.
So if it explains why some writers are working and some aren't. Like originally they said it wouldn't impact TV, but it is already like there's no late night shows.
Right.
Because they all write. And apparently I read this, I think this was in the Vox article, and there's no The View. Apparently there's writers for The View.
Oh, no.
Oops. But, you know,
really
and
funny.
we're about to take a break here in a minute, so I don't want to dive into this. You know, maybe we can just talk about this a little bit. But what's really, like, horrible about this strike is how they're being treated on strike.
Yeah.
How these corporations are still treating them like, well, no, we don't really need you.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we want to take a break
Yes.
and then come back and dive into that. I just noticed the time. I'm not trying to take over control of the station at this point.
All right. Stay tuned to Streamingverse. We will be right back.
I see you, weary human, carrying the loads of modern life and longing to relieve some stress. Allow me to help. Well, hi. It is I, the Groove Machine itself. And I invite you to come along so that I can share with you my lessons. Tune into the Groove Machine every Tuesday from 12 p.m. to 1
I thought it
p.m.
was funny
on
comments, though, from you guys
WHCL
writers.
88.3 FM.
It is kind of shocking.
I'll be waiting.
WHCM 88.3 FM, la radio con pum pum.
Hello? Are we on?
No.
Thank you for listening to WHCM 88.3 FM Harper Radio, your local college station in Palatine, Illinois.
Welcome back to Streamingverse. We had a little frozen computer moment. Quick reminder before we dive into this topic regarding the writer's strike. The thoughts and ideas that was really hard for me presented on this show are our own and not necessarily reflective of the opinions of WHCM, Harper College, and its Board of Trustees. Wow. Okay. That was a lot.
Yeah. So, you know what's interesting? We've talked about everything about why they're striking. We even talk about AI. And I think it's because it is an important element, but it's not necessarily the main reason that they're striking.
Right. It's just an additional kind of thing that sucks.
Yeah, potential. Well, and the truth is, we all need to be better. Now I'm skipping my other topic, but there is a lot of horrible shows out there.
Yeah.
And I think it's great that many of these streaming platforms like Netflix and Hulu for sure have started incorporating international shows on their platforms. To a large degree, I think that's great, but I also think they're doing it because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Because they're buying the package, they're not paying the writers, they're not doing all that individual thing, which is their way of going, see, like, you know, we were talking about before the show started, see, I'll still be successful. You know, I can get these cheap packages and people are still watching. But as you and I have discussed, we're both dwindling on what we've been watching because it's just... Even though there is still new content coming out, I think they're starting to spread it out a little bit, so, you know, to keep us around. Like Peacemaker, where is Peacemaker? You know?
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that. Sheesh.
Yeah, I just pulled that one out of the air, but
Oh my god.
yeah, it's it's interesting what's happening. But and again, in addition to the strike, and they're basically all their demands being ignored. For example, one of the things they're asking for is a 6% increase the first year, a 5% increase the second year, and the third year. Studios like, you can have 4 right now the first year, then 3, then 2. Like at one point in our lives, it used to be 3% just for the cost of living.
Yeah.
And now they're like, maybe 4, even though you haven't gotten a raise in about 5 years. So they're already insulting them in these negotiations. And then they do things like the whole tree situation that when we were chatting, texting about this earlier, Megan mentioned this in her text. I was watching the news and I saw it. The NBC Universal, they cut all the like branches off the trees where the writers were walking for their striking and picking.
God.
And it's one of the hottest summers, I think in decades right now. And so they've just put all these people in harm's way. Well, luckily, the mayor is with the Screen Actors Guild. He is like looking into, because you can't just do that.
Yeah.
Because it's on the Parkway. So he's actually looking into finding them for it.
That's awesome.
So
that
that's kind of cool.
They're getting in trouble for that.
But
Not awesome that it happened.
They just cut them.
Oh my God. I hate people sometimes.
Especially because that's, it's like, well, we'll get them to stop. And I don't think these studios realize yet, because we're all still streaming. We still have our packages. But we're getting annoyed with you. We see you. We hear, we know what's happening. And again, remember, the thoughts and ideas are our own and not necessarily that is hard to say. Not necessarily representative. Reflective, there we go, of the ideas of Harper College, WHCM, or its Board of Trustees. Anyway, I think we should all unsubscribe from the same streaming service for one day. The next day, over 24 hours later, we can all subscribe back, because just that one glip will have them freaking out for at least 12 hours.
Oh, yeah.
They will freak out if they found out that millions of people just unsubscribed. So I challenge you, Reddit.
Yes.
Please get on this for me. Somebody start this, loop us in, and we'll do it too. I don't know how to get people, I don't know how to organize. Somebody on Reddit did it when they bought all the GameStop stock. Did you hear about that?
Oh, yeah.
So someone needs to do this with, we unsubscribe at, 4 p.m.
We ride at
Central
9.
Time, and everyone has to sync their clocks. We unsubscribe then, and we don't subscribe back in, maybe even for 36 hours.
Whoa,
Just
that might
to
be
freak 'em
pushing
out.
it.
Well, it's only one. You can watch all the other platforms.
I know. I'm kidding.
Because they need to know.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Sorry, you really threw me off guard with the tree thing.
Yeah. That's inhumane.
It is.
And these people are making, again, the CEOs are making close to $1 million, and they can't give somebody. John Cusack tweeted about this in the past week or so, and this is regarding one of his movies, and I think it was Say Anything. Yeah. So, and I'm not going to give the right number, so I apologize, John. I'm here for you. We can discuss this when you want. Just, hit me up. Slide into those DMs. Anyway. Guess who one of my childhood crushes was. Anyway, so John Cusack was texting, so would Say Anything. Let's say the movie cost, $13 million to make. Right. So, and he had points with this. So he was expecting, residual checks for a long time. But a few years, for up to a few years after the film came out, they'd go, oh no, Say Anything lost $46 million. It cost 13 to make. How can it lose 4? But they do this so that they get to keep the money. So even when they look like they're being good, like we'll give you points on this, and points basically means you make a part of the market of the movie as it continues to sell. But you also can't do that when it streams, because it's a one and done, or the studio owns it, and there's no one counting it. It's not like on broadcast TV where when it played, You know, you
Right.
okay, this many people just watched this, or you know, they leased it, or however exactly that worked. But yeah, they are crooks,
Yeah.
and they're also not creative. I've heard
No.
so many stories about movies that have been like derailed because the execs get involved because they think they're creative and they're not.
No. Yeah. And it's sad to say, but the same thing has been happening for musicians for years. Same thing. Because Spotify, Apple Music, all the, they're not giving them, it's like, what, less than a penny per stream?
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. So I don't know. I'm waiting for the musicians to kind of band into this as well and be like, same.
Yeah, and this has been, what was it? The last strike, I wrote this down, was in 2007 for 100 days. And apparently the state of California lost like billions of dollars because of revenue of people working, and also because of unemployment, and also because of people not spending money there at that point as well. So, and they expect this to go much longer.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting because it is going to impact, people's revenue. Companies, but companies, states, and things like that. Because now this is a lot of Canada, but let's just talk about Chicago. A movie's going to come in, and they're going to use this for the state, the sound, what's it called? The sound stage or whatever. Yeah, so we're going to do some location shots here, do this. That's gone now. All the revenue that town, some little teeny town was expecting is now gone.
Yep.
And people's careers will be impacted by this. And, things that we love will disappear. Someone was talking about it. It's like, sometimes when you look at the old shows, because we were talking about that before, where it's like 22 or 28 episodes a year.
Right.
And why did they only have 20 episodes a year? What was the strike?
Yep. Yeah, a lot of things are filmed in Georgia, in small parts of Georgia. I couldn't think of the town. I'm like, what state was that?
I know this.
I know, because we always drive through there.
Okay.
Going to Florida. And you see, like, off the side of the road, you'll see, like, sets. There's one, I think it's some Star Trek thing. My dad wanted to do it because they just, like, kept it up.
Oh.
And so it's, like, a tourist thing.
Right.
So, yeah, this, I don't think people realize how much this is going to affect everything, especially, like smaller theaters too. Like, besides like small businesses.
Right. Smaller theaters, won't be impacted more, like the Music Box.
Right.
Yeah, the smaller ones. AMC will be fine.
Yeah.
But the smaller ones will be more impacted. You're right.
Yeah. And then it goes down to the people who are renting out, like, the camera equipment and the stunt people, and then, I don't know.
Yeah, hotels. Catering.
Airfare.
Yeah, all those things. It is definitely a countrywide impact, if not global impact, because of all the, like, filming movies have been doing lately in Australia or New Zealand. I was like, what's that other one? What's the little one right next to it? That's why I couldn't think of what it was.
The little one right next to it.
2021 is the last time they've gotten a raise. And Megan mentioned too before the show, like, they pay an astronomical
nice one
amount for their insurance, because even though they have a union, there's not that many, so you don't get bargaining power. And just like the CEOs don't think the writers have right now. And so they're paying, like, $20,000 a year for insurance because they don't, they just don't make that much money in order, and it's part of their union because they don't have a job like a corporate America job where they can do that. And then they're not making that much so that they can afford medical care. Universal health care. Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Throw that out there.
Yes. Oh my gosh. All right. It is.
It was kind of like, when you see in movies when they go, whatever the high school is, like Schaumburg High School football rules, that type of thing. So that was my
free healthcare,
universal healthcare rules.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, on that note, we're going to take a quick break and we will be right back. Stay tuned.
If we continue to consume our natural resources at the rate we do now, by 2050, it could take 3 Earths to meet our needs. The Earth can't speak up when it needs help, but we can. Be the voice for those who have no voice. Visit worldwildlife.org.
Hey there, morning person. Carson Starr here. Have you heard the news? The Star Spotlight is now on 7 days a week.
Monday,
Tuesday,
Wednesday,
Thursday,
Friday, Saturday.
Sunday.
60 minutes of commercial-free music to get your day started right.
Monday,
Rise and shine. Tuesday,
Wednesday,
Thursday,
Friday, Saturday.
Sunday.
The Star Spotlight every day at 6 and 9 a.m. here on Harper Radio.
Welcome back to Streaming Verse here on Harper Radio. To close out this rather depressing show, we wanted to highlight some of our favorite episodes. I don't know, I wrote down movies, complete series, because I don't know, I got really into it. Some of our favorite writers. So Chris, you want to start us off?
Well, I'm going to go to the narrow first versus the, because I have series 2 that I love the writing and everything. So I'm going to start with the Ted Lasso episode, even though obviously I love the whole series and all the writers. There's an episode that was out here on season 3 called Sunflowers when they were in Amsterdam. It was so good. And a lot of the writers are the actors. It's kind of like The Office where they write and act. But Joe Kelly was one of the writers for that one, who I don't think is on the show. Keeley Hazel. And Brandon Hunt. You know, I could actually tell you who each of these people play. Brandon Hunt is Beard on Ted Lasso, and Keeley Hazel plays Bex. And actually, it's where they got the character named Keeley from.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That's so cool.
What do you got for us?
This is going to be shocking. Are you ready? Season 1 of Killing Eve.
No.
Written by Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Fleabag, sorry. Now.
Yes, who is also a fantastic actor. I saw Indiana Jones, the new one. Oh my god, she stole the show. I didn't even need the plane crashing old man, and they're like, woo, she was amazing. And I said that, and my entire family just like you're gonna get crucified for saying that. Like, oh my god. And I'm like, what's his name? Harrison Ford? And I was just being mean. But yeah, she's amazing. I also wrote down for the entire series, which is crazy. Someone needs to check on this woman and make sure she's okay, because she wrote this so beautifully and accurately. I just want to make sure she's okay. Kit Steinkeller, Kellner. I probably said that wrong. I'm sorry. She wrote Sorry for Your Loss.
Oh, you love that. Yeah.
I love that show so much. It's on Facebook Watch, and now I'm gonna deep dive to make sure she's okay, because that show is a lot. What else have you got, Chris?
Well, you just reminded me, so I'm going to throw this out there, is Promising Young Woman.
Oh,
I don't know her name, but she's amazing. I think she's the one who just did Barbie.
Greta Gerwig.
Yes. Thank you.
She's on my list.
She is awesome. Oh,
she's amazing.
All right, so for a specific episode I picked, I loved season 2 of The Bear, so I just love The Bear in general. There's an episode called Forks. And it was written by Alex Russell, so go Alex. And it's the story on the character Richie, where he's a very angry, troubled person. In fact, season 1, everyone disliked him. Why is he there? That he'd be kicked out. Well, no, he's family, especially in Chicago. You don't kick out family, because it's about Chicago restaurants and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking Chicago. I don't mean. And it's how he learned to be himself and what he actually wants to exceed in. And it also gave his character story as to why he was the way he was. So
sweet.
Alex Russell, you are awesome. All right, Nina, your turn.
All right, I'll just do one more, because I probably wasn't going to do this, but WandaVision has 10 writers. credited, and I did not look for the exact episode, so shout out to those 10 people. You're amazing. I'm not going to attempt to say all of their names because it will be a train wreck and we'll be here for 10 more hours. The writers of Everything Everywhere All at Once, Daniel...
Just try.
Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert. I'm so sorry. I can't say anything. Just the fact that movie is so, like, you go in thinking it's about taxes, and then there's a bagel and then, like, you know, the answer to everything, and, like, it's so emotionally complex and just, like, thought-provoking, and it's about everything everywhere all at once. It's just so amazing. I don't know how you can shove all of those messages into 140 minutes. Like, I want to do that.
Right.
Like, how is that possible? So yeah, shout out to the Daniel Squared.
Yeah, I'm going to throw out a shout out to The West Wing, which I've watched multiple times. I love it. And Aaron Sorkin, of course, is one of the highest paid writers in Hollywood. Like, he's one of those people where hopefully he's supporting this. I think he is. But he is, you know, because of course there's always the top few who end up making decent money, and he's one of them. But there was a lot of other writers on The West Wing, especially when Aaron was trying to get off the coke.
Oh, okay.
He had a little issue with, you know, a little drug issue. So, I don't know all their names, but The West Wing is a marvel as well.
Yes. All right. Well, with that being said, support screenwriters.
Yes, support all writers. Support people who say they're being marginalized and believe them.
Period.
Yes.
All right, and have a good dinner.